So I'm Sasha Kalawangoma. I'm from Zimbabwe. So my favorite tradition is during Christmas. The whole family gathers together and my mom makes this thing called saza. It's made out of pasta. And we get to eat and sit sharing the same meal, telling each other what we've managed to accomplish over the past year and things that we're grateful for. And we get to also share our desires, our hopes for the next coming year.
My favorite holiday tradition is around Christmas time. A couple weeks before, we gather around our table and we make tamales from scratch, where we cook the meat, we make the masa, and we all come together as a family and we make tamales just for Christmas Eve. It's our tradition every year, and it's one that goes back probably before I was born. And it's just a magical time where it's just camaraderie and family and hard work of the year and just something just delicious at the end of the day.
My favorite holiday tradition is eating tamales. So Christmas Eve, the first thing that I do is I just run for the tamales.
So in my house, we celebrate Christmas. Around that time of year, there's always a lot of decorating. So this is one of the ornaments I made back when I used to do art programs at MWR. I remember that ever since around 2017 onward, I would decorate the entire house. The entire lower level would be head to foot in lights, garland, ornaments. It's one of my favorite traditions, is really taking pride in my decorating.
My favorite holiday, it's actually a season. It's a Mexican tradition to worship the death, Dia de Muertos. I really love the atmosphere and how people treat their family, to never forget them.
Our favorite holiday tradition at our house is my son and I usually go to Walmart and pick out a toy and do Pack the Penske. We've done that every year. Pack the Penske is put on by the firefighters in Sierra Vista. I believe it's both Fry and Sierra Vista Fire, and they collect toys for needy children in our community.
So my favorite tradition is going trick-or-treating, because Halloween is my favorite holiday. I love dressing up. I love the whole concept behind it, scaring away evil spirits with our costumes, even though nowadays costumes aren't really so scary, but some people do keep it traditional and dress up really scary. I love the fact that we get free candy because I am a huge sweet tooth.
My favorite holiday tradition, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, is food. There's always red chili, rice, beans, and if my older sister has the time, homemade lasagna made Mrs. Bernal style. And you just gotta love that.
My favorite holiday is Christmas, and I like to gather with the family on Christmas Eve and open one gift and then open the rest on Christmas morning.
My favorite holiday tradition is watching Elf on Christmas Day.
My favorite holiday tradition is Thanksgiving. I like to be gathered around the people that love me and support me, and I love them and I support them. And I just love talking about God and seeing why are we thankful for and what we would like to see in the future.
My favorite holiday tradition is probably ever since my mom and stepdad got married, they would let my brother and I search for a present on Christmas Eve, and we would only get to open one present, but we would have to search for it. So they would give us a sticky note with a clue, and we would be running all over the house, just finding another clue and another clue, and eventually we would be able to find our present. But then one year, my mom hid the stockings as well, and so it's December at 6 a.m., it's dark, and my brother and I were like, we have to look for our stockings. Our stockings were hanging about like 10 feet off the ground from our ceiling. And so as quietly as we could, which was not very quietly, we took the ladder and we climbed up and got our stockings, woke our parents up in the process. But that was probably one of my favorite memories looking back, is having to look for presents, look for our stockings growing up.
My favorite holiday tradition is every year for Thanksgiving, me and my family, we go down and we rent cabins, and then the next day we have a big feast for Thanksgiving.
My favorite holiday tradition is watching White Christmas. When I was little, my sister and I used to pretend we were Rosemary Clooney and Vera Ellen and put on the tree skirt and dance around the house singing the songs. It just brings back really good memories. And also, I love dressing festively. I'm kind of known for that. And then I like baking dog treats, gingerbread dog treats for all my friends and family.
One of my favorite family traditions that we do for the holidays is we get matching shirts or pajamas every year. And then every year we also, on Christmas, watch The Nightmare Before Christmas.
So my favorite holiday is Christmas. And so I have here an ornament that I got a few years ago with my goddaughter, and we go on little adventures. And so this one we got signed by all the little elves from a little trip in Flagstaff. So it's my favorite thing.
My favorite holiday tradition growing up was something that we called the 12 Days of Christmas. And so what that is on the 13th of December, you choose a family who you know, maybe somebody you don't know, someone who maybe you think needs a little bit of help and support. And from the 13th through the 24th of December, you go and you anonymously deliver gifts to their door. And that was always kind of the fun part of it, was the whole anonymous aspect of it, trying to figure out how to keep these people from knowing who you are. I remember once when I was maybe, 12, maybe 13, I had a gorilla suit I put on so that I could walk right up to the door. They have no idea who I was, because this was a family who did know us pretty well at this time. And I was just finding fun ways to give this service to these people. And so it was fun on that end, but it was also left you feeling, a very good feeling, because you felt like you were actually helping someone and doing something for someone. And to kind of understand why this tradition was so important to me, you kind of have to understand how I grew up. I'm the youngest of 7 siblings, and my dad had a very modest income, worked as a correctional officer, but my mom was very good at budgeting money. So we always had what we needed, but not usually a lot of extra. So anytime we did have extra, we tried to do things like this. So the 12 Days of Christmas was always the special time of year where we could really have fun and help somebody else. And it's a tradition that I've continued to do with my own family, with my wife, with my children, that we continue to do today. And it's just one of those things that we love about the holidays.
My favorite holiday tradition centers around Christmas Eve. And when I was young, my parents and I would go out to the horse corrals and sing Christmas carols to the cows and the horses. I loved that. And then as I became older, my mom, even at that time, my mom would always read the night before Christmas. So I've continued that with all my kids. They're all grown up now, but I get them to do it. And then they do it with their kids. And actually, I still read it now to my husband.
For the last 20 years, our biggest family holiday tradition has been making and giving cookies as gifts. It started when my youngest child was in daycare, and I wanted to give something special to everyone who worked there. And nobody wants 100 different things from the dollar store. So I decided, we would make cookies and fudge and give those as gifts. And it has just kind of evolved as the years have gone on, where people were like, oh, when are you going to make those again? And then it became, oh, this is great. It's a weekend at home and you just go crazy. And every year we like to add a new cookie. Last year, which was our first Christmas in Arizona, cowboy cookies were the new cookie of choice that year. And they kind of have everything. And since we're kind of out here in the wild, wild west these days, that's what we do. And we send them to Michigan and to Tennessee and workplaces. So my husband was able to bring 2 boxes of these cookies.
My favorite holiday tradition is watching Christmas movies, especially Home Alone, because that's one of my favorites. And I like gifts. Yeah, that was it right there.